All right, so this time you've given us chapters 1 through 22
Wow.
of a fantasy novel
Okay.
called Shades of Viridian.
Lots to dig into.
Let's dive in and uncover the mysteries of this world and its magic system,
Yeah,
and the characters who are about to take you on one wild ride.
I'm excited about this one.
Me too.
The world building is fantastic.
Yeah?
The magic system is really in depth.
Oh, yeah.
It's not just casting spells. There's a whole other realm involved, a source of energy that fuels magic, but also has consequences.
Okay, so first things first, picture a continent called Viridian.
Okay.
With regions as different as night and day, you've got Illyrian, a human city where magic is tightly controlled by the Council of Elders.
Okay.
Then there's Glade Haven, a mystical forest haven for the Sylvani,
Right.
who seem to live in harmony with nature.
Yeah.
And then there's Duskmire, the swampy moorlander town,
Right.
with kind of a spooky vibe.
Yeah, and weaving through all of this is the threat of the Shades, these shadowy creatures.
Yeah.
They're connected to magic in a way that's not immediately clear, but you quickly realize that these Shades aren't just mindless monsters. There's something more going on.
Yeah, and at the heart of it all are Zara and Leela,
Yes.
two young women from Illyrian
Yeah.
who get swept up in this conflict. Their journey to uncover the truth about magic and the Shades is what really drives the story.
You see, their personal struggles mirror the larger forces at play.
Okay.
Zara represents the reader,
Okay.
someone thrust into this extraordinary situation with no magic of their own.
Right.
Leela is a magic user, but her ability is tied to painting.
Interesting.
She uses it as a proxy, a tool to channel her power.
So chapters 1 through 7 introduce us to Zara and Leela, best friends living in Illyrian, where magic is almost like a forbidden secret. We see Leela struggling with her unique magic, how it sets her apart.
This concept of a proxy is really fascinating.
Yeah.
It implies that magic isn't just readily available to everyone. You need this conduit, this focus to tap into it. What do you think this says about their society, how they view power?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It definitely makes you wonder if this control over magic is about safety or maybe something more like maintaining power.
Interesting.
And then just as we're getting comfortable, danger starts creeping in. We hear whispers of sick mist, a sign of shade activity becoming more frequent.
Yeah, like the calm before the storm.
Exactly.
And then, boom, Alara Evergreen appears in Zara's cellar.
Wow.
This mysterious woman from the past.
Okay.
She's directly tied to the origins of magic in Viridian, and it seems she has a score to settle with the Council of Elders.
Ooh, some serious bad blood there. Before we can even dive into that, Zara and Leela find themselves on the run with Alara. They have to escape Illyrian, and guess what? They encounter those terrifying Shades firsthand.
Wow, so they're thrown right into the action.
Yeah.
What's interesting is how Leela reacts in these moments of danger. Yeah. She uses her quick thinking and her magic remember tied to her painting to evade capture. It shows you that her abilities, while unusual, are far from limited.
Totally, and it's during their escape that we meet Captain Drake.
Oh,
This gruff but kind-hearted ship captain who helps them.
Okay.
His backstory hints at a complicated relationship with Illyrian and its laws,
Interesting.
making you wonder if he's going to be an ally or a problem later on.
He definitely adds another layer to the story.
Yeah.
You get the sense that he operates outside the structure of that society,
Right.
which could make him both valuable and dangerous to our protagonists.
But looming over all of this is the Illyrian military,
Right.
led by General Sharp and Elder Octavia, who are hot on their trail, determined to capture Alara.
The stakes are getting higher.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what secrets Alara holds that are so dangerous to the Council.
This pursuit raises the stakes considerably.
Yeah.
You now have multiple factions with competing interests converging, all while Zara and Leela are trying to unravel the mysteries of the magic and the Shades.
Right.
It's a recipe for both conflict and discovery.
And discovery is exactly what they get in chapters 15 through 20 when their journey takes them to Duskmire, this swamp town where the dead literally rise from the muck.
Oh, wow.
It's creepy, fascinating, and definitely adds a whole new dimension to this world.
Duskmire's such a stark contrast to the more civilized environments of Illyrian and Gladehaven.
Yeah.
It really highlights the untamed raw aspects of Viridian. Imagine yourself in their shoes traveling from the polished streets of Illyrian to this murky, unpredictable swamp. What would be going through your mind?
Probably a lot of yous mixed with whoas. Seriously, it makes you realize that there's so much more to this continent than meets the eye.
And it's in Duskmire that Leela meets Eli,
Okay.
a charming rogue with a very unique kind of magic.
Oh.
Luck.
Yeah.
Imagine using dice to channel your power.
Wow.
It definitely makes him stand out. He's also searching for a lost heirloom, adding another layer to their already complex mission.
Right. It's like everyone they meet has their own agenda, their own secrets.
Right.
But then Alara drops a bombshell. Magic drains energy from another realm inhabited by powerful beings.
Well, okay.
And guess what? The shades of those beings try to cross over.
That changes everything.
It completely changes how you view magic in this world.
It becomes so much more than just a force of nature. It's a force with consequences, a force that's disrupting the balance between worlds.
And then to make things even more complicated,
Yeah.
Leela experiences a spontaneous burst of magic without her proxy.
What?
It happens in Gladehaven, and suddenly the forest is glowing.
Wow.
It's beautiful and terrifying at the same time, and it hints at something much bigger than anyone realizes.
This incident is a game changer. It suggests that Leela's connection to this other realm, to the very source of magic, is far deeper than she knows. Makes you wonder if maybe proxies aren't just about regulating magic flow, but about limiting the connection to this other realm.
Okay, so we've got magic draining energy from another realm, shadowy creatures trying to cross over, a mysterious woman from the past, and a young woman with a connection to magic that goes beyond anyone's understanding. Where do we go from here?
Well, chapters 21 and 22 bring us to the Obsidian Archives,
Okay.
a repository of ancient knowledge hidden within a mountain.
Oh, wow.
It's caught in a battle between the Illyrians and another group, the Emberforged, who are like dwarves but with a fiery twist.
The archives become this focal point for everyone's ambitions. It's clear that knowledge is power in this world, and everyone wants to control it. We also learn that Eli's search for his family heirloom is connected to the archives, adding a personal dimension to this battle for information.
It's fascinating how the story weaves together these personal quests with the larger conflict.
Yeah.
You see how Eli's family history is intertwined with the fate of Viridian itself.
Right.
And it makes you wonder what secrets his heirloom holds.
And then just when you think things can't get any more intense, Leela's magic evolves.
How so?
She conjures a bridge of glimmerstone, this incredibly valuable magical ore,
Wow.
showcasing the raw potential of her abilities.
Glimmerstone, that's...
It's a member that takes your breath away.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But before we can even process that there's a devastating attack on the archives,
Oh, no.
the stakes are raised even higher, forcing our heroes into desperate choices. Alara is captured by the Illyrian forces, leaving Zara and Leela to figure out what to do next.
The attack on the archives emphasizes how fragile knowledge can be,
Right.
and the lengths people will go to control it. It sets the stage for the climax of the story, which unfortunately lies beyond the scope of the excerpts you've given us.
Ugh, the suspense. But don't worry, we know how it all ends. So based on what we've gathered, Zara and Leela infiltrate Illyrian, which is now under full-on shade attack.
Okay.
They confront Prelate Augustus, the leader of the council, and surprise, surprise, he's been hiding the truth about magic all along.
This revelation is a major turning point in the story.
Yeah.
It speaks to the themes of power and corruption and how those in positions of authority can manipulate information for their own gain.
Absolutely. And it turns out that Eli's heirloom is the key to opening a portal to the other realm, the very source of magic.
Talk about family secrets.
I know, right?
So Eli's personal quest is now tied to the fate of the entire world.
The climax of the story is this tense standoff. Leela pushes her magic to its limits, trying to protect her friends from the shades, while also trying to open the portal to reveal the truth to the elders.
It's a battle fought on multiple fronts.
Yeah.
A physical battle against the shades and an ideological battle against those who refuse to see the truth.
And then the big reveal, the shades aren't actually monstrous shadows.
What?
They're beings of light and energy.
Wow, that completely changes how you view them.
It makes you question everything you thought you knew about this conflict.
This revelation adds a whole new layer of complexity to the story.
Right.
You realize that the shades, or Aurorans as they're called, aren't inherently evil, but rather beings reacting to the damage being done to their realm.
Augustus, now exposed, gets taken by the Aurorans back to their realm. The future of Illyrian hangs in the balance, and we're left with so many questions.
It's a fascinating resolution because it leaves Augustus's fate open-ended. What will happen to him in the Auroran realm? Is there a possibility of redemption for him? We can only speculate.
So much to unpack. But here's how it all wraps up. Alara, once ostracized, becomes the new leader of the council, guiding Illyrian towards a new understanding of magic and a more harmonious relationship with the Aurorans.
This represents a major shift in power and hopefully a positive change for Illyrian.
Yeah.
Alara, who understands the true nature of magic and the consequences of its misuse, seems like the perfect person to lead them into this new era.
Eli returns home to Tidecrest, having found his heirloom enclosure for his family's past.
That's good.
His journey underscores the importance of understanding where we come from and how it shapes who we are.
Absolutely.
And Leela and Zara now hailed as heroes continue to explore their magical abilities and the wonders of Viridian, suggesting that their adventures are far from over.
Their continued exploration is a reminder that learning and growth never truly end. There's
Exactly.
always more to discover both within ourselves and in the world around us.
All right, let's take a breath for a second and shift gears. We've covered a lot of ground, but what really stands out to you about this world and its magic system so far?
What's remarkable is how it blends familiar fantasy elements with truly unique concepts. The idea that magic is sourced from another realm and that its use has consequences for that realm is something I haven't encountered before. It adds a layer of ethical complexity to the story and makes you question the very nature of power.
You're right. It's not just about good versus evil. It's about understanding the impact of our choices, even when those choices involve something as fantastical as magic.
And the way magic is tied to personal objects, these proxies,
Yeah.
is also very intriguing. It suggests a deeper connection between individuals and the source of their power, a connection that can be both empowering and limiting.
Okay, so we've established that the magic system is pretty cool, and that the world of Viridian is full of diverse regions and intriguing characters. But let's talk about the different perspectives on magic we see throughout the story.
Absolutely. You have the Illyrians with their rigid counsel and their controlled approach to magic.
Okay.
They represent a more cautious, even fearful perspective, perhaps born out of a desire to protect themselves from the consequences of unchecked magic.
Then you have the Sylvani, who live in harmony with nature and seem to weave magic into their everyday lives.
Right. They represent a more intuitive, almost spiritual connection to magic, seeing it as a natural extension of their existence.
And then there's Dustmeyer and the Moorlanders, who have a unique relationship with death. And the reanimated corpses that roam their swamp, their culture, seems to embrace the cyclical nature of life and death, and makes you wonder if their understanding of magic is tied to this concept.
It's fascinating how each culture interacts with magic in a different way.
Yeah.
It highlights the fact that there's no one right way to understand or wield this power.
It's like a giant philosophical debate disguised as a thrilling fantasy adventure.
Exactly. But let's not forget about the characters themselves. They are the heart and soul of the story, and each one brings something unique to the table.
Let's start with Zara and Leela.
Okay.
They have this classic dynamic of contrasting personalities that complement each other perfectly.
Oh?
Zara is our relatable every woman thrown into this extraordinary situation without any magical abilities of her own.
She represents the reader's entry point into this world, and her journey is one of self-discovery and growth as she learns to navigate the complexities of magic and the dangers it presents.
And then there's Leela, the gifted artist, whose magic is literally brought to life through her paintings. She's struggling with the limitations of her proxy, but also discovering that her connection to magic runs far deeper than she initially realized.
Her journey is about unlocking hidden potential and coming to terms with her unique abilities. It makes you wonder what she's capable of once she fully embraces her power.
And their friendship is the bedrock of the story. They support each other, challenge each other, and ultimately grow together as they face these incredible challenges.
And let's not forget Alara, the enigmatic figure from the past who brings a wealth of knowledge and a jaded perspective on magic. She's seen it all, experienced the dark side of magic firsthand, and is determined to set things right.
She's like the wise yet slightly traumatized mentor figure.
Yeah.
Her insights into the origins of magic and the dangers it poses are crucial to understanding the larger conflict at play.
And then you have Eli, the charming rogue with a heart of gold and a knack for using luck as his magic.
Right.
He brings a much-needed element of levity to the group, but he's also fiercely loyal to his friends and deeply connected to his family history.
And his search for his family heirloom, which turns out to be the key to opening a portal to the other realm, adds another layer of intrigue to the story.
The supporting characters like Captain Drake, General Sharp, and even Prelate Augustus also play important roles.
Yeah.
They add depth and complexity to the narrative, representing different facets of Viridian society and the various forces at play.
It's clear that this conflict isn't just about good versus evil, but rather a clash of ideologies, personal ambitions, and misunderstandings.
And at its core, Shades of Viridian is a story about human connection, the power of friendship, the importance of understanding different perspectives, and the choices we make when faced with difficult situations.
Okay, before we wrap up this part of our deep dive, we need to talk about the Obsidian Archives.
Yes.
It's this repository of ancient knowledge hidden within a mountain talk about peak fantasy coolness.
The archives represent a focal point for all the different factions in the story. They hold the secrets of magic and its history, making them a prime target for those who want to control this power.
And the fact that it's caught in the crossfire between the Illyrians and the Emberforge highlights how important information is in this world.
Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
And the struggle to control the archives is a perfect example of this. It also emphasizes the importance of preserving knowledge, protecting it from those who would use it for their own gain.
And the battle that unfolds there is just epic.
Oh, yeah.
Leela conjuring that Glimmerstone bridge, Zara fighting off attackers, Eli dodging boulders like it's no big deal.
He makes it look easy.
It's also visually stunning and action-packed.
Those scenes really showcase how far the characters have come since we first met them.
Yeah.
They've been forced to adapt, to use their skills, both magical and mundane, to survive.
And in the end, the archives hold the key to understanding the true nature of magic and its connection to the Auroran realm. It's where Eli finds his family heirloom, the very object that can open a portal to the other dimension.
This discovery brings everything full circle. It links Eli's personal journey with the larger conflict and highlights the interconnectedness of events in this world.
But here's where things get really interesting. The archives are also a symbol for us as readers. We're like explorers, delving into this story, uncovering its secrets, and piecing together its mysteries.
It's a brilliant parallel that speaks to the power of storytelling and how it can transport us to other worlds, challenge our perceptions, and make us think about the world around us in new ways.
All right, so we've got a world full of magic and mystery characters with hidden depths and a conflict that goes beyond the typical good versus evil scenario. Where do we go from here?
Well, in the next part of our deep dive, we're going to delve deeper into the mysteries of magic in Viridian. We'll explore the evolution of the magic system, the role of proxies, and the ethical implications of using magic that draws energy from another realm. We'll also examine the different cultural perspectives on magic and how they shape the characters' choices and actions.
Sounds like a plan. Get ready for even more twists, turns, and mind-blowing revelations as we continue our journey through the world of Shades of Viridian.
So until next time, keep those pages turning.
All right, let's pick up where we left off and explore some of the deeper mysteries of magic in Viridian. I'm particularly fascinated by how the magic system has evolved over time and how it's viewed so differently by the various cultures in this world.
Yeah, the evolution of magic is key in this story. In the early chapters, you might get the sense that magic is pretty straightforward. A force of nature,
Right.
accessible to those with a natural predisposition and a proxy to channel it.
Right? It almost seems like a craft.
Yeah.
Something you can learn and perfect with the right tools and training.
But then Alara enters the scene,
Right.
and she challenges that assumption. Her ability to wield magic without a proxy is a throwback to a time before what she calls the binding.
Can you elaborate on the binding a bit more? It's mentioned a few times, but never fully explained.
Right, the excerpts don't give us all the details.
Right.
But from what Alara hints at, the binding wasn't just about restricting magic. It was about fundamentally changing how society perceived it. It raises questions about how narratives, even cultural ones, shape our understanding of power.
That's a thought-provoking point. You start to wonder if the Council's control over magic isn't just about safety, but also about maintaining a certain narrative, a way of controlling not just the magic itself, but how people think about it.
Exactly. And this brings us back to those fascinating proxies. You mentioned earlier that they seemed like tools, almost like crafting implements.
Right.
But if we consider them in the context of the binding, could they also be seen as a way to limit people's connection to the source of magic, this other realm that Alara reveals?
So instead of just regulating the flow of magic, the proxies are actually acting as a sort of buffer, a barrier between Viridian and this other realm.
Precisely. And this connects directly to Leela's spontaneous magic bursts. Remember that moment in Gladehaven when she accidentally made the forest glow?
Yes.
It suggests that she might be tapping into a primal source of magic, bypassing the need for a proxy altogether.
That's right. And it happened again during the attack on the archives when she conjured that bridge of Glimmerstone.
Right.
It makes you wonder if she's somehow immune to the binding or if her connection to magic is just fundamentally different from everyone else's.
What's fascinating is that this concept of a deeper connection challenges the Illyrian Council's view of magic as something to be controlled and regulated. It suggests that there might be other ways to interact with magic, ways that are more about harmony and understanding than simply exerting control.
And that's where the different cultural perspectives on magic come into play. We have the Illyrians, who represent a more cautious, controlled approach, the Sylvani, who seem to live in harmony with magic, and the Moorlanders, who have their unique relationship with death and the reanimated corpses.
Yes, and each perspective raises its own set of questions. Are the Illyrians right to be cautious given the potential consequences of drawing energy from another realm? Or are they limiting themselves by trying to control something that might be more about understanding and balance?
And what about the Sylvani? Is their way of weaving magic into their everyday lives a model for peaceful coexistence with this power? Or are they unknowingly contributing to the imbalance between realms?
And then you have the Moorlanders with their seemingly morbid practices. Is their acceptance of death and their interaction with reanimated corpses a sign of deeper understanding of the magical forces at play? Or are they treading a dangerous path?
It's like a giant puzzle with so many pieces that don't quite fit together yet.
Exactly, and that's what makes the story so compelling. It forces you to think critically about the nature of magic and how different cultures might approach something so powerful and potentially dangerous.
Okay, so we've got a lot to ponder about the magic system and its implications. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about the characters. What are your thoughts on Zara and Leela's journey so far?
Their friendship is definitely a highlight of the story. You see how they support each other through these incredible challenges, how they learn and grow together. Zara, the ordinary girl, thrust into this extraordinary situation, and Leela, the gifted artist, grappling with her unique abilities. Their dynamic is both relatable and compelling.
Zara's journey is particularly interesting to me. She's like a stand-in for the reader, someone who's just discovering this world and trying to make sense of it all.
Yes, and she doesn't shy away from asking questions, challenging assumptions, and even standing up to authority when she feels it's necessary.
And Leela's growth is incredible to witness. She starts off uncertain and hesitant about her magic, but by the end of these excerpts, she's conjuring bridges of glimmerstone and tapping into a power that goes beyond anyone's understanding.
It makes you wonder what she's truly capable of once she fully embraces her potential.
And what about Alara? She's such a complex character, burdened by her past, but also determined to make things right.
She plays a crucial role in guiding Zara and Leela, sharing her knowledge and experience, but she also has her own agenda, her own reasons for wanting to challenge the Council's control over magic.
Right. It makes you wonder if she's truly trustworthy or if she's manipulating them for her own ends.
And then there's Eli the rogue with a heart of gold and a touch of luck on his side. He brings a sense of humor and adventure to the story, but he's also deeply connected to his family history and the secrets hidden within his heirloom.
I love how his personal quest intertwines with the larger conflict, highlighting the fact that individual choices and actions can have ripple effects that impact the entire world.
Exactly, and the supporting characters from Captain Drake to General Sharp to Prelate Augustus, they all add depth and complexity to the story, representing different sides of this conflict and the various motivations that drive people's actions.
It's like a tapestry woven with threads of magic, mystery, adventure, and human connection.
And as we continue our deep dive into Shades of Viridian, we'll unravel even more of these threads, exploring the philosophical and metaphorical implications of this story and its profound impact on its readers.
Okay, we've touched upon the fascinating magic system, the cultural perspectives, and the characters who bring this world to life. But there's one more element we need to discuss: the Obsidian Archives. This ancient repository of knowledge is more than just a cool setting. It's a symbol for something much bigger.
You're absolutely right. The Obsidian Archives, this treasure trove of knowledge hidden within a mountain, represents the power of information itself.
And the fact that it's caught in this tug-of-war between the Illyrians and the Emberforged emphasizes how vital knowledge is in this world, how it can be both a weapon and a tool for enlightenment.
The battle that unfolds there is not just about physical dominance. It's about controlling the narrative, shaping the future by controlling access to the past.
And the way Leela uses her magic during that battle, conjuring that bridge of glimmerstone, it's almost like she's creating a path to knowledge, a way to bridge the gap between the past and the present.
That's a beautiful interpretation. And the fact that Eli's family heirloom, the key to opening a portal to the other realm, is found within the archives reinforces this idea of knowledge as a gateway to understanding and perhaps even transcendence.
But the archives are also a symbol for us as readers, aren't they? We're like explorers delving into this story, uncovering its secrets and piecing together its mystery.
Precisely. And the fact that the excerpts you've given us end with the attack on the archives, leaving us with so many unanswered questions, it's like the story itself is inviting us to continue exploring, to delve deeper into this world and its mysteries.
It's like the author saying, here's a taste of what's possible, but the real adventure lies in continuing the journey and seeking out the knowledge that lies beyond these pages.
And that's the beauty of a truly captivating story. It sparks your imagination, challenges your assumptions, and leaves you wanting more eager to discover what lies beyond the horizon.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this part of our deep dive. We've explored the magic system, the cultural perspectives, the characters, and the symbolic significance of the Obsidian archives. What are your final thoughts as we move towards wrapping up our analysis of Shades of Viridian?
I think what stands out to me the most is how this story manages to be both a thrilling fantasy adventure and a thought-provoking exploration of complex themes.
I agree. It's a story that entertains and challenges you, leaving you with a sense of wonder and a desire to explore the deeper meanings hidden within its pages.
And as we move into the final part of our deep dive, we'll delve into those deeper meanings, exploring the philosophical and metaphorical implications of the story and what it has to say about our own world and the choices we make.
I'm excited to see where this conversation takes us. So stay tuned as we wrap up our deep dive into Shades of Viridian and uncover even more of its secrets and insights. We've explored the magic system, the diverse cultures of Viridian, and those unforgettable characters. But now I'm really curious to unpack the bigger picture. What are the underlying themes, the messages that resonate beyond the fantasy elements of the story?
Well, one thing that strikes me is how Shades of Viridian uses magic as a metaphor for power.
Okay.
Not just the magical kind, but power in general.
Mm-hmm.
It explores how power can be used for good, for ill, how it can be controlled, and how it can slip through our fingers.
That's a great point. We see this play out with Alara and Prelate Augustus.
Right?
Both have incredible magical abilities, but they use them in completely different ways. Ilara, even though she has reasons to be bitter, chooses to guide Illyrian toward a more harmonious future.
Augustus, on the other hand, is blinded by his desire for control. He manipulates magic and people, and ultimately it leads to his downfall.
It's like a cautionary tale, right? Power without responsibility, without considering the consequences, can be incredibly destructive.
Exactly, and it's not just about those in authority. Leela's journey also highlights this theme of responsible power.
Okay.
She grapples with the knowledge that her magic has an impact on another realm, on the Aurorans.
Right.
She hesitates to use it even when facing danger because she understands the potential harm it could cause.
Remember when she accidentally made the forest glow in Gladehaven?
Yeah.
That moment really solidified her awareness of the consequences?
Right. It wasn't just a cool display of power. It was a wake-up call.
Exactly.
And then when she creates that Glimmerstone Bridge during the attack on the archives, it's a deliberate act of creation, of using her power for a specific purpose. She's not just reacting, she's choosing to act to protect her friends and to help them uncover the truth.
It's a huge contrast to how Augustus operates. He's all about controlling knowledge, keeping secrets, and maintaining his position of power. Leela, on the other hand, is willing to risk everything to reveal the truth, even if it means challenging those in authority.
Her choices, her willingness to take responsibility for her power make her a truly compelling hero. She's not perfect. She makes mistakes, but she's constantly learning and growing.
It's like she embodies this idea that power, whether magical or not, is most effective when it's wielded with understanding, compassion, and a sense of purpose.
And this ties into another theme that resonates throughout the story, the power of knowledge.
Okay.
The Obsidian Archives, this repository of ancient wisdom, becomes a symbol for the importance of seeking knowledge, preserving it, and using it wisely.
The fact that so many different factions are fighting over the archives shows just how valuable knowledge is in this world. It can be used to enlighten, to empower, but also to manipulate and control.
Think about the Illyrian Council. They've been hoarding knowledge, twisting it to suit their own agenda, and ultimately it's their downfall. They're so focused on controlling information that they lose sight of the bigger picture.
And then you have Zaret and Leela, who are constantly seeking knowledge, asking questions, and challenging assumptions. They represent a more open, inquisitive approach to knowledge, one that is not afraid to challenge the status quo.
And it's through their pursuit of knowledge that they ultimately uncover the truth about magic, the shades, and the Council's deception.
It's a reminder that knowledge is power, but only if it's used responsibly and shared freely.
And let's not forget the power of human connection throughout their journey. Zara, Leela, and Eli face incredible challenges, but their friendship, their loyalty to each other is what helps them overcome these obstacles.
Think about the climax of the story. Leela is pushing her magic to its limits, trying to protect her friends and reveal the truth, while Eli uses his luck and resourcefulness to help her. They're working together, supporting each other, and it's that bond that ultimately makes the difference.
It's a testament to the idea that we're stronger together, that even in the face of overwhelming odds, friendship and collaboration can be our greatest assets.
So Shades of Viridian is more than just a fantasy adventure. It's a story about power, responsibility, knowledge, and the enduring strength of human connection. It's a story that resonates with readers long after they've finished the last page.
And it leaves you with this sense of possibility, this idea that we all have the potential to make a difference, to use our own unique abilities to shape the world around us for the better.
It's been an incredible journey diving into this world with you. We've explored its mysteries, analyzed its characters, and unpacked its deeper meanings. But now we turn the conversation over to you. What are your thoughts? So what resonates with you the most about Shades of Viridian? What will you carry with you from this story?
As you continue to explore the world of Shades of Viridian, beyond these excerpts, remember to look for those hidden depths, those subtle connections between the fantastical and the real. Pay attention to the choices the characters make, the consequences they face, and the lessons they learn.
And most importantly, let this story inspire you to seek out your own adventures, to embrace the power of knowledge and human connection, and to use your own unique abilities to make a positive impact on the world around you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Shades of Viridian.